Morning. I haven't done videos for the last few days, just because I was following what I was inspired to do, really. And although I had inspiration come through me, I didn't feel that it was right to kind of sit down and share. A lot's been happening for me recently since I kind of fully committed to my truth and fully committed to raising my vibration and following my inspiration, really, following my inner guidance, really connecting with my true self, my higher self, and letting go of an awful lot of old belief and behaviour patterns that are not true for me and are ones that I just picked up automatically throughout my life from the people in my surroundings. And it takes time to kind of unravel all of that, to get to a place where you really do start to trust your inner guidance, to take quite radical steps in alignment with your truth and maybe not in alignment with the truth that you've lived by for the majority of your life. So what I was inspired to talk about today was fear and trust. Because like most people, my life has been driven, I guess, the majority of the time by fear of not fitting in, fear of not being loved, fear of failure, fear of success. You know, we have so many fears that kind of control our lives and keep us in this little box where we are and don't let us, go beyond our comfort zone. Don't allow us to follow any inspiration that we feel guided with, to kind of really kind of step away from this straight path that we're on and that our parents and our friends and our families are on, and looks and feels very, very familiar. And fear has held me back for the last, we're in September, 9 months, to doing something that my heart drew me to be aware of in December. And that was to really cleanse and detox my body. Like most people, I had, the only addiction I really had was to sugar. And that was because I had candida in my system, which is a yeast that feeds off the sugar. And so my body was calling me, to be able to raise my vibration and make my connection to my true self and that much clearer. I really felt drawn to detoxing and cleansing that. And I dipped in and out. I gave up sugar for a bit, but then for whatever reason, habit, it crept back in. And it's really taken me a lot of work over this year to start, releasing those aspects of fear that are controlling what I feel I can do, until I got to a place this last week or so where I felt really strongly that I could now face this. Now, the fear for me with the detox is the fear of feeling the discomfort and the sometimes pain of cleansing, of the body ridding itself of the kind of the toxins and all the stuff that's built up in my system. And, I was fearful of experiencing that. Allowing myself to fully experience has been something that I have controlled my whole life, like many people, because actually allowing the energy to flow as it wants to, naturally, can feel quite overwhelming at times. And, especially if it's emotional energy in motion, I've stifled my emotions my whole life because I associated emotions with pain, with heartbreak, with heartache. Very rarely, in fact, I don't think I had really allowed myself to experience joy because I had all of this fear inside me. and it kept me very much where I was. But I've done a lot of work, allowing myself to go inside and see the shadows and feel the pain within, and release some of that pain emotionally. And I feel that I'm at a point now where I can face the fear that I had of this physical discomfort of going through this detox program. And so I started it this week, and I've kind of fully started to take, some of the supplements that will aid my body today. And that's because I've been able to, having released a lot of the beliefs that weren't mine, having worked through and released a lot of the energy that was being blocked, done some real cleansing of my energy field through energy work, working with others, working by myself, really managing my energy, doing those basics of cleansing, connecting to the earth's energy, feeling, grounded in some way, much more grounded and connected than I had ever allowed myself to be before, and protecting my energy field, understanding more about my energy, enabling me to fully feel into my energy and where my energy started and stopped. So having done all that work, I felt a lot more connected to myself and a lot clearer on the guidance that was coming through, and able to trust that guidance. Because fear and trust for me really kind of go hand in hand. One blocks the other. If we're fearful, then we're not trusting in our guidance. We're putting our trust outside of ourselves. We're trusting in everything that is external, that we've learned, that we've been taught all our lives. We're trusting the known. And it's fear that stops us stepping off that path of the known and onto our own individual path of life, following our pure inspiration and guidance, that internal voice, that pull from the heart, actually listening, tuning into our bodies and actually allowing ourselves, giving ourselves permission to meet the needs of ourselves in each moment, as opposed to being there for everybody else, meeting the needs of everybody else, putting the needs of everyone else ahead of us. It's only when we allow ourselves to start going there, into those, sometimes it takes baby steps, into those areas of fear that we have resistance to, and allowing ourselves to take those steps and investigate that space and fully experience and let that energy flow. Because once we allow energy to flow, it's no longer held within us. It's gone, it's released. So many times we think we're releasing stuff when actually, because we're not fully allowing ourselves to really experience that flow of energy, really experience the emotions, the pain, the anger that comes through, that we've trapped and held within ourselves, that we don't really release. It's kind of like, I'm doing it on a cognitive level, but I'm not really fully engaging in it. And so we still leave some aspects and areas, and that's why it's kind of like peeling an onion. You kind of go, well, I did that bit, I released that, but there's another layer and another layer, because you kind of have to go through these layers, these baby steps, to allow yourself to kind of get to that point where you fully trust and you can fully surrender to whatever will be. Absolutely trusting that you have been guided to do this. You have been divinely guided by your individuated divine spark, by that pure essence of yourself to do whatever it is. It may be to change job, to move house, to detox, to allow yourself to go through whatever pain it is that you're perceiving you'll experience. And that's the other thing. Perception is a massive thing. If we perceive something to be awful, that's what we attract into our sphere of reality. That's what we create. If we perceive it to be something that I've been guided to do, and something that is going to upgrade me. It's going to make me feel great. It may be challenging as I go through it, but if it is, I'm going to be in that place of allowing, surrender, have a smile on my face, and say, yay, I'm allowing myself to release this. This is great, because I am going to release it, and it's going to be gone. It's about shifting your perspective on things, and that's really, really important, because where we put our focus, where we put our attention, is what we attract to us. So if I'm sat there, which I have been, I'll hold my hand up, I have been sat there absolutely dreading doing a detox, and I've dipped my toe in, and I've had a massive challenging experience, because that's what the energy I've been putting and attaching to it. And then that's kind of, gone, yeah, I was right. I was right to fear that, because, that felt dreadful. But I've come to a place where the trust is stronger than whatever fear there is. And I've come to a place of allowing myself to, because I've gone through the processes of releasing fear and allowing and surrendering into those processes, and actually realizing that even when my heart's racing, my heart feels like it's banging out of my chest, all of these thoughts are racing through my head, and I feel like I'm having the massive panic attack, I have a smile on my face. And I'm holding on to, this too shall pass, and what will be, and bring it on. And, because I've gone through that, I'm now at a place where I do feel able to change my perception. I do feel able to change the energy that I am channeling going into this. I am in a place now where I feel, yes, this is very clearly what my body wants. This feels like the right time to do it. I've tuned into what supplements I need to take to assist my body, how many of those supplements I need to take, taking on the guidance of other people, but then tuning into myself and checking in. Do I follow the guidance directly, or do I adjust it for me? And that's really important too, allowing yourself to fully trust your guidance, what your body, what your higher self is telling you it needs. And I've come to a place of allowing. I've come to a place where I'm excited. I'm excited that, I'm going to go through a period of time, but at the end of that, I'm going to feel fantastic. I'm going to feel better than I've felt in more years than I can ever remember. So I'm projecting my energy onto a positive outlook. This is going to be an upgrade for me. I'm going to raise my vibration even more. I'm going to allow even more light in. And actually, I'm going to clear away all of this stuff that I've been holding on to and that has been holding me back for decades, for the majority of my life. I don't need to carry this anymore. None of us need to carry any of the density that we are holding on to. And I'm wanting and allowing myself to achieve the freedom that my heart wants. And in a few videos back, I think I said, or in a post somewhere, I said, what I wanted from my experience of this life was freedom, joy, and creativity. But fear stifles freedom. We cannot be free if we're controlled by fear. And so I am stepping up and fully allowing myself to realize those experiences that I've said, my higher self has said, I want to have in this physical form, in this lifetime. So I'm going to leave you with that. We can never be free if we're controlled by fear. And we don't have to face all our fears in one go. We can take steps towards it. Trust me, this has taken 9 months of little baby steps for me to get to this place where I am ready and I feel trusting in myself and my guidance enough that I can face the pain, face the fear, and do it anyway. Okay, have a fantastic rest of your day. Wishing you all the love in the world, and I will keep you updated on how it is. I have had some symptoms already, headaches, aches and pains and things, but nothing more than I've had at other points in my life, and nothing that I can't handle. And that's another important thing. The universe will never give you anything that you can't handle. All right then, much love, take care, bye.